Hi there everyone, it's good to see you again, and today I have one more Bobby Fischer chess game to show you from a chess simul from 1964, Houston, Texas, United States. His opponent was Clarence Bell. I was absent for a few days because I was busy watching the Summer Olympics. I was a typical couch potato and it was quite entertaining. I was consuming a lot of raw nuts and I was like, run, run, entertain me when I was watching these amazing athletes in the Olympics. So I hope you are enjoying the Summer Olympics as well. So I decided to show a chess game in today. I was actually going to show this game, but because of the Olympics I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. So okay, now again, we have a Fischer game against an unknown opponent in a chess simul, a 57 board simul from 1964. And this is not something like watching Bobby Fischer against Tigran Petrosyan, Boris Spassky, or Mikhail Tal. Those were, by the way, Bobby Fischer's some of the important rivals of Bobby Fischer, contemporaries of Fischer, of course, as we all know. But it's, in my opinion, it's very interactive to see Fischer's games or any other master's games against these unknown opponents, because we can get important and valuable lessons from them, as sometimes they can crack under the pressure against these masters and make some important, significant mistakes, and we will get some lessons from them. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so and also it's always going to be entertaining, because sometimes these masters can brutally crush their amateur opponents. Sometimes, just like in this game actually. Okay, so let's see what happened. Fischer starts the game with e4, and we have the Spanish game, the Ruy Lopez opening bishop to b4, and this was an unusual move in the Spanish game. Actually, the more usual and more logical move would be a6, which is one of the most common moves in this position, or knight to f6, and d6 are some of the alternatives in this position, or even bishop to c4, but black played bishop to b4, an unusual move, and the computer engine also didn't like this move. And this is also known as the Alapin variation of the Spanish opening. And why is this move not so good? Because it is giving white some tempo c3, so kicking the bishop back and then pushing the pawn, and white actually has strong center almost forcefully. So as you can see, white has the control of the center and attacking the bishop at the same time, checking the king, blocking and capturing the knight. This is giving up the bishop for no reason. So b takes on c3 and then developing the knight, and Bobby Fischer is sacrificing his pawn and he castled, and black also didn't want to capture the pawn and black castled. If knight takes pawn, then rook to e1 is very bad for black. So black castled, bishop to g5, pinning the knight, and e5 is coming. Alarm bell was ringing for Bell. So Bell played h6 actually. I mean, it's looking very difficult. So h6 and bishop to h4 by Fischer, and he renews his threat with pushing the pawn, and the knight is going to be pinned. How to extricate yourself in this position? The alarm bell was ringing for Mr. Bell, like ding 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 ding. So Bell played actually a horrible move, knight to e7, and Bobby Fischer captured the knight for a good reason. Now he is giving up his bishop for a good reason, because this opened the king, the g file is open, and it looks weak for black. As you can see, it compromised king's safety and the king is exposed. Black gave up his bishop for no reason. Bobby Fischer is giving up his bishop for a good reason. In this position, you might also ask what happens if g5. Okay, it looks logical, but white can smash in with his knight. Knight takes on g5, and then bishop takes on g5. Maybe Bell saw this in his mind's eye, and he didn't like this continuation because the pawn is still coming, and how to defend. So if d6, then queen to f3, black is in big trouble. He's in deep trouble. This is a quite depressive situation for black. Okay, so it doesn't look very good, as you can see, and the knight is still pinned. So knight to e7, and then simply smashing in with the bishop, and it opened the king. Knight to h4, this also opens the queen. Bobby Fischer can get in with his queen. So d6, black wants to develop his bishop, liberating the bishop. And just look at this position. All of the black pieces is in the 8th rank. They are not developed. The king safety has been compromised, and black has only managed to develop his knight, but it looks awkward. The knight is on e7, which is awkward because it's also blocking the queen. So who is better? It's actually a very silly question. 100% white, of course. And look at Bobby Fischer's position. I mean, he has such a flexible position. His king is safe. He developed his bishop, and the knight and the queen is open. So this position at move 13 is almost unplayable for Clarence Bell. Interesting, isn't it? That's how Bobby Fischer outplayed his opponent very easily. Okay, so the game continued. Any chess player can resign actually in this position. It is a resignable position for black. So d6 and then f4. So a very simple idea. Bobby Fischer could actually develop his queen, which is a tempting move, queen to h5, but he played even more developing move with pushing the f-pawn. So alternatively, he can lift his rook up and then rook over, checking the king, and bad things are going to happen for black. So f5, queen to h5, he can lift the rook up, king to h7, e takes on f5. This position is almost unplayable. So Mr. Bell cracks under the pressure, and he played a suspicious move, a very dubious move. Knight takes on f5, but isn't this just simply dropping a piece? But another developing move by Bobby Fischer. When you see a good move, look for a better one. Pinning the knight to the king, and this knight is a gunner. So king to g7 and simply capturing the knight, and Fischer is a piece up, but this position was unplayable anyway. Lifting the rook up, a very obvious move by Bobby Fischer, so he can actually use the rook for checking the king. So bishop takes, knight takes, king to h7, and black says, okay, black is a piece down, but maybe black is just playing for the entertainment. But against Bobby Fischer, you have no chance in this position because white is basically a piece up. And black says, okay, I'm defending the h-pawn. Can you see what white can play here? White has a very strong move. Okay. Bobby Fischer captured on h6. So he can actually go back with the knight, that's check, and winning the queen at the same time. So sacrifice is accepted, and then checking the king, and black resigned. Any king move is going to result in losing the queen actually in this position. So let's say king to the g file, and then check, king back, and then pinning and winning. Easily winning for white. And if blocking with the queen, then we have check, king has to go to the g file, and then rook to g3 is pinning and winning. So I think you get some important lessons from this chess game, and most importantly, I hope that you find this chess video entertaining and fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess game from the history of chess. Take care and bye bye.